All right. Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the fourth session of Summer School of Engaging Cities initiative. Today we have three speakers again. We have Mr. Joy Ganguly from Pondicherry. He is part of the team of Alliance for Good Governance and Pondican. He'll be talking about geography of things. Then we have Mr. Anand from Bangalore and our own Dr. Mansee Bal Bhargava for continuing with her inputs about water and water bodies as a third presentation. And we'll also be talking about assignments and upcoming sessions. So with this, I would like to invite Joy to start his presentation. Joy, can you come?
Yeah, I'll just share my screen. Let me see. Is it displaying?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's in slideshow mode or?
No, it has to come. You have to bring it to slideshow.
Yeah, okay. All right. So hello, everyone. I am trying to put some data and technical continuity to what some of my previous colleagues have spoken, specifically Raghunath Menon and Prabir Banerjee. I think they spoke last week. I am a volunteer with certain organizations called Pondican, which is Pondicherry Citizens Action Network, Alliance for Good Governance, which is a collection of many social justice NGOs, organizations of Pondicherry, who also work on environmental issues, and an even larger collective, which we call the All for Water for All, which includes people from around the bioregion, that is not just the Pondicherry Union Territory area. I've been volunteering with these groups for the past few months, and I have quickly put together some data based on the talks that Raghunath and Prabir had given earlier. So one of the things I'm trying to do with these groups is set up a data platform through which we can carry out collection of information from different groups, as well as individuals, and from the government, as well as monitor the different natural resources, particularly water bodies. It is still at a very early stage, so I hope you'll forgive the very rudimentary nature of the presentation. All right. Some of the databases that I came across after starting this work with Pondicherry is the town and country planning. There's a water resource organization in Pondicherry. There's a state GIS portal, and Orville has its own GIS platform. So far, I've not had much recourse to the data that is from the government side of the sector. I've had some access to the Orville GIS data, which they were very generous in sharing. And for the rest, we have to actually build all the base maps by ourselves. So it's like laying the bricks before we can even carry out any activity functionality with this data system. First, I start with the Bahur area. This is kind of based on the talk that Raghunath had given. This is a network of water system in the southernmost portion of Pondicherry district. It is the gray areas are the Pondicherry enclaves, and the white areas are Tamil Nadu. And you have at the bottom a river system, which is called the Pennair River. And this part of Pondicherry falls under the Pennair River Basin as well as the watershed that's under that basin. The source of this point comes from the Tamil Nadu side, and the channel, which is more than 1,000, the purple channel that you see. Are you able to see my cursor moving from left to right? Anyone?
Yes, Joy. Yes.
So this particular channel moving from the river here all the way up to this Bahur catchment area was built more than 1,000 years ago. So there's an interesting resilience about this particular water channel, and it was set up by, the legend has it that it was set up by two sisters in this particular area who were dancers, temple dancers, I believe. I don't know what degree of fact or fiction, how much of it is fact and how much is fiction. But over the thousands of years, this has been maintained by the local communities. This area also happens to be the rice basket of Pondicherry, very rich. It's part of, at the border of the ancient Chola Pallava core areas of the Chola Pallava empires. And I have shown here the different infrastructure that is supporting this water network. Some of this water is also sought to be pumped into the Pondicherry town area, urban areas, for supplying for municipal supply. Okay, I'll just go to the next slide. This is a zoomed in section of the Bahur tank. You can see from the different gates, the color coding of the different water networks that are flowing out and how they are reaching the different villages and under that particular zone. And these are some of the other infrastructure that Raghunath had spoken about, anacuts and siphons, aqueducts, etc., through which this whole system is the checks and balances, which allows the water to be maintained constantly, the constant flow, so that irrigation can take place during the dry season, the non-rainy seasons. Okay, so much of this data that you see here has been mapped out in the field, and to some extent they have been mapped out with the help of revenue village maps. I hope most of you are familiar with this data source. They are usually the survey department of respective states and union territories. They publish them. So this is a traced out revenue map of one of the villages that we are working in. It's Abhishekapakam. And the interesting thing about these revenue maps is they're usually dated around the late 60s to early 1970s. So they help in creating a data line of particularly water bodies. In our case, we are working on water bodies, how they existed, what were the reach and extents of those water bodies at that period of time, 40, 50 years ago. And whatever changes may have taken place afterwards, we are able to then track that. So now if I overlay this water system, the revenue map with the water networks that we have in this area, we are able to see a good correlation, despite the fact that these data have come from two very different sources, one 50 years ago, another one about 15 years ago. And through this, we are able to also keep track of which channels or streams are getting encroached, which ponds we should push back against local encroachments, etc. So now I'll quickly move to the talk that Prabir Banerjee might have given, had given last week. This is about the One School, One Pond program. It's envisioned as an environmental stewardship program, using the school children as the live wire. But it's not just the school children in isolation who would be working on it, or even the school alone. It is the school and the local communities who would work together in identifying a local pond close to the school and working with the community, and in turn putting pressure on local government organizations in maintaining the water bodies. The dimensions of the water bodies themselves are not just at the local level, but they are also part of the larger network, which many of you know, Pondicherry is on the coast, so it goes down to the estuarine lagoon systems and then off to the sea. The One School, One Pond, OSOP, as we call it in short, also touches upon the biodiversity around each of these water bodies, the flora as well as the fauna, terrestrial as well as aquatic. There's also cultural dimensions that we are trying to conduct around these ponds. recently, Prabir might have presented the water festival that we conducted a couple of months ago from the February to March. So the water festival itself was documented in great detail. There were different activities that were conducted during the water festival. So even the data around that, these cultural events around water, is been put together in a data framework, which is allied with the data system, the database GIS geographical system that we are trying to put together. These are some of the expected outputs of this whole data geography of things that we are envisioning. There is a descriptive aspect, which is the visual dimensions of the water, the measured, the oral histories of the around each of these water bodies, which we expect the school children, with the help of their adults and supervisors, to carry out. There is an evaluative component of this, through which we see the changes that are taking place in the land use as well as water use around the water body, as well as in the local area. And there is a prescriptive aspect. So how does the OSA program in turn interact with the local governments and local communities in bringing out behavior change or managing these water bodies? We are envisioning a federated structure for this One School, One Pond program. So at the micro watershed level, if there's a school, then adjoining micro watersheds will have multiple schools who will get together, and there'll be one sort of hub, and there'll be a larger sub watershed level network through which the water bodies will be monitored. Some of the other elements that we are expecting in this One School, One Pond program is alerts based on weather, secondary data or tertiary data that we can get on the net, and also status updates in the local water, which is primary data, because the children will be monitoring the water quality, the biodiversity, the pollution, etc., and how the different schools are able to follow up the different area of activity. Along with this, we are trying to develop with the National Coastal Resource Management Center in Chennai an app through which the data will be compiled and put together in one central server, and then the comparison between the different data, the different schools and different ponds, etc., can also be carried out. I'll just over here put a short video. This app is still under development. I just have a short video of the how we are looking at the app's final product coming up later.
Joy, are you speaking something?
Is there a music background coming? I'm sorry. There was a background music which is supposed to appear.
No.
Are you? Oh, I'm very sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So essentially, this app. I'm sorry. There was a background sound which is not coming through on the. on the Zoom. So this app has both a web-based dashboard as well as an app which can be used on smartphones. Through this, we are hoping that the different schools will be able to upload the data that they're collecting, and also be able to monitor the results of the data. As I showed you, the progress status, the water quality status, linking up with the weather data as well as pollution data around Pondicherry. One of the biggest problems we have here is there's a bit of a disconnect between sharing management resources of the different natural resources of Pondicherry. So the PWD, the local administrative department, the municipal departments, there's very little interaction between these departments themselves, and even less interaction directly with the civil society. So which closes off chokes off the data coming from top to bottom. So we are hoping that through this information system that we're generating through the One School, One Pond program, we'll create a bottom-up approach to data gathering, not as a way to replace the top-down, the data that the government is generating, but hopefully as a collaboration with the other stakeholders in our area. Actually, I will stop over here. We are also, what I haven't got to yet is there's a multiple number of sensors that we are trying to link up with this. Let's see. So the infrastructure that you're seeing here, the different water bodies, for example, and the different siphons, the aqueducts, etc. Time to time, they silt up and the movement of water gets blocked or floods take place. So we are trying to set up sensors in different points within this water network to track which areas are having water deficit, which areas are more prone to flooding, which area. So far, we haven't been able to collect any groundwater information, but there are a few open wells in this region through which we are hoping to track the salinity of the waters in this well, in the top aquifer. So most of these work we are planning to do with a concept called geography of things. So right now there are a number of sensors that are available, sensors which can be connected with local Wi-Fi and the data gathered into a central server. So we haven't yet started that particular process. We are still exploring how they work. We are learning the technology ourselves. But in this particular part of Pondicherry, we are having a very good receptivity, both from schools as well as the farm groups. The Water User Association in this particular part of Pondicherry is also quite strong with very effective leadership. So we envision that in the near future, we'll be carrying out some of our pilot programs in this area. So let's stop here, and if there are any questions, I'll be happy to receive them. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Maybe you can either stop sharing it and you can come live so that people can ask questions. So people want to just unmute themselves and come forward with the questions.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, sir. Lakshman here. So I just had one doubt. I was a bit late to the presentation today, so I wanted to ask you. So when I joined in, right, you were showing the revenue map overlaid on the road map, and some other features were also shown there. So what I wanted to know was, after collecting all these GIS layers, digitizing them, putting them together, and making them fit together, while it can be used in monitoring purposes, how is the database that you have created being used today, and how do you envision it to sort of help in the future?
That's a really good question, Lakshman. And as of now, we haven't made it a very functional database, and from the angle that you're asking. This is a very new, very recent. All this data we are putting together has only been done in the last few months. So just putting the data together took up a lot of time because we don't have access to any digitized information in this area, and particularly in the Pondicherry side. And in one way, it is directly helping us is in preventing encroachments through this revenue boundaries. We are able to identify very clearly what were the extents of water bodies going back 40, 50 years. And each of our efforts, wherever we are restoring water bodies at the moment, or wherever we are desilting at the moment, we are pushing back against whatever encroachments have taken place over the last 30, 40, 50 years. Another side, this database is currently helping us is proposals from water user associations who are primarily consisting of farmers in the rural area. So through, it's a bit of a community-based planning. So the Water User Association Bahu, for example, they're able to look at this network of drainage and irrigation systems in their area and identify which spots are having water deficits and for what reason, etc. They're also able to identify which spots require these kind of sensors which we are planning to put over, whether for water depth or water flow. So it's a work in progress. Hopefully, if we get together again after a few months, I'll be able to share the next stages that we are reaching in this effort initiative.
Right. I think the yeah, I got it. Thank you so much for the response. So we in town planning have tried to sort of make these revenue maps sit on the Google Earth imagery. That itself is a hectic task. The fact that you guys actually made the entire database is itself a big achievement. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not yet in its entirety. Just a few villages here and there we're able to put together based on the response from the local villages. But yeah, our hope is to do the entire Puducherry as well as the adjoining Auroville Tamil Nadu area, what we call the bioregion, put together. Yeah.
Thank you.
Joy, you can also talk about our All for Water for All portal that we are thinking of, where we can put all the repositories in one place.
Yes, correct. So that Neer Nilai app that we were talking about, that is also linked with or is going to be linked with a portal, which the name of the portal is All for Water for All, through which the different events and activities, for example, we conducted a lot of competitions for school children. We conducted a yatra, a journey of a water pot, going from school to school, collecting water in the different ponds and sharing and pouring some water back in these different ponds, in essentially designing signifying a connectivity of water with all the different parts of Pondicherry, from top of the upper reaches of our Pondicherry water system to the bottom of it. So this portal is not only going to have the Neer Nilai database that we were talking about. Neer Nilai, Raghu, maybe you could translate exactly what Neer Nilai stands for. Blue water, is it? So the Neer Nilai database is
any water body.
Okay.
Yeah. Any space that holds water.
Correct. So this integrating the cultural, social dimensions along with the water parameters, the biophysical parameters of water, will allow us to understand this concept of hydro-social systems, and also what Dr. Mansee speaks about time to time, the social ecological system. To what extent are our local communities dependent on these natural resources in their area? And because this whole app and database is going to be transparent for the most part, people, different groups, communities will be able to see which communities are performing, working more enthusiastically in these areas, which is like a proxy for what degree of connectedness they have with the local resources in those particular areas. So this portal has many potential directions that it can go, not just for data sharing, but also for a deeper collaboration among the different communities of Pondicherry.
Joy, what about also perhaps sharing few things about this Waters for Pondicherry website? Because I think that's also a good effort in the similar direction. No?
Yeah, do you want me to open the website?
It would be good if you can just say a few words, because that the way you people are working as organization, also AGG and different components, people, motivated people are trying to do their part, and how it all comes together is an important component.
Yes, yes, I totally agree. As I said, friends, this whole initiative, which we call All for Water for All, is actually a collective of various organizations, volunteer. And for the most part, these are all volunteer organizations. Almost none of us are actually paid to do any of this work. So I'll try to show here. I'll share one screen. Give me a moment. Of one of my colleagues. He runs an organization called All for Water for All. Let me see if I can. Is anything coming?
No, not yet.
Sorry, I'm not terribly familiar with the.
Bhia also has a question. So meanwhile, she can ask her question, and then Joy can continue to open it.
Sure, sure. Yeah, you can ask me questions. Whoever.
Hi, ma'am. This is not Kavya. Kavya is my daughter. This is Maithili. Actually, my question's been kind of answered. What I wanted to know was, how do we volunteer for the 1 Pond 1 School program if we are not in a position to commute to Auroville very often? Or is it in the preparation of the database? And is that the kind of activity?
Thank you for your interest, Maithili, and hopefully your daughter too. Fantastic. Are you a resident of Pondicherry or this?
No, I'm a resident of Chennai.
Okay, okay. We actually have some collaborators, or we are not able to get together very frequently now. There are students in high schools in Chennai who are actually developing apps and sensors for weather monitoring, weather as well as air quality monitoring in Chennai. And some of them are also in the near future will be helping us in customizing these sensors for water quality monitoring here. So now the 1 School 1 Pond itself is very local, geographically is locally based. So it's the local schools of Puducherry district who have been identified, about 100 have been identified so far. And each of these schools have identified a pond near their school, which they are going to adopt and study, as well as hopefully maintain and generate data. And it's totally possible. And perhaps my next speaker, or there could be a lot of other people I've heard in Chennai, they might be even more active in creating public participation. So ECI, I believe there's an organization called ECI who work a lot with water in Chennai. Do you know them, Maithili?
No, I haven't. I don't know ECI.
Or EFI, Environmental Foundation.
EFI, yes.
EFI, sorry, yeah. So I am not familiar with EFI. I've just read newspaper articles. So if you want to take the initiative or propose the idea of a 1 School 1 Pond in your own locality or municipal area, totally, we're all for it. And we can share whatever resources, ideas, concepts, designs we have, and you can go ahead with that.
That's so overwhelming to hear.
Sure. It is great if more and more urban areas as well as rural areas take up this kind of bottom-up community initiatives. Because otherwise, Pondicherry, what that I'm seeing, I'm a bit, I'm old timer in Pondicherry, but also very new because I've been away for a long time. There's a bit of a intangible layer of governance where law and order does not actually work on its own. A lot of crony mechanisms are at play. So unless you understand these local dynamics, unless you can tap into these local dynamics, a lot of these water conservation efforts also may not work out. So this cultural dimension is really important from that aspect. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Has anybody able to see the screen? Are you able to see the screen now?
Yeah, we can see it now. Yeah.
Okay. So this is my friend Dinesh. He runs an organization called Waters of Pondicherry. He has set up this database. This is not so much, actually, this is not a database, but this is a collection of information of Puducherry. So all the administrative information of Puducherry, not just related to water, but also related to the administrative maps of Pondicherry are available over here. so for example, these maps. So it was a great help for me, instead of trying to hunt around, go from office to office to find out what's available for Pondicherry, to use his website and immediately like a one-stop gap to know what information is out there. And then I would download these data and then try and trace them out. So as you can see, he has put together information from the town and country. Now the town and country planning in Pondicherry, they have a huge amount of information from the revenue maps to satellite imagery to very updated roads, the water networks, almost A to Z. And I think there's an Amrut project through which they have they got crores of funding, but they just sit on this data. They don't want to share any of the digital information with us. At the most, we can download from their website these maps and then retrace it ourselves, and which, as some of you who have worked on these geographic databases know, it take tons of time, huge amount of effort. So this is data that I'm showing from Waters of Pondicherry website. Likewise, there's also another agency called Water Resource Organization in Pondicherry. They again got funding from World Bank. Actually, all the states of India got funding from World Bank to develop databases on water resources in their respective states. And that's again something, after eating up all these crores and crores of money, and they set up massive buildings with a lot of infrastructure, they just sit on the data again. They don't either collect data frequently, nor do they know what to do with the data. So it's a bit like what you see today in COVID. Many people are complaining that COVID information is not reliable that we're getting from the different state agencies, etc. But what I've come to the conclusion is most government agencies, they don't even have the capacity to actually manage data. They need a really basic orientation in management of data, transparency of data sharing, quality of data. A to Z is just a name that they are the stewards of all our information. This is the Waters of Pondicherry also has information on some of our other enclaves, which is far from here, the 130 kilometers away, for example. So through small efforts, the civil society in Pondicherry is trying to put these data together, and gradually, hopefully, we will integrate much of this information and collaborate with other groups around the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Participants can also check out easily. It is just type in Google Waters of Pondicherry. One more thing, maybe you can show while you are there. Why don't you go to Educate Yourself tab? And this is like how interestingly a motivated person on its own tried to put together the relevant information, which otherwise, as you said rightly, we have to keep on hunting. So Joy, if you go to Educate Yourself tab,
yes,
yeah, and just come down to the software. There are many things, but something which I like personally. So this person or this organization is already listing all these apps which are mentioned, which are available, which you can try, and some of the other things, even tracking, the map making, many things, Android apps. So you can just check out, play out, test out some of them, and I think that would be really good.
Oh, thank you, Lalit. I actually did not see this a few months back when I had access website.
You should
Fantastic,
have seen it.
Dinesh has put it up.
No, this
after
is
a long
quite,
time,
yeah,
it's been around. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh,
it is there.
wow.
So it is good to see how people, and again, this is a group of motivated, self-propelled people. They have tried to put together all this information so that it's not only they are sharing, they are empowering others also to bring it out. So these are efforts of different type, and I feel some of these apps could be taken, tested, and used for the local condition. There could be even a water or other projects, learning projects in the school around these. So they can be very creatively used and integrated for the learning as well as, yeah, maybe data collection. I downloaded even this one, Jal Abhishek, I remember. So there are different even organizations which have. So I would suggest to all the viewers and our workshop participants to check them out and to test it, some of them. Why don't you test in the nearby water bodies or other? Just try to test it and check it out. That will be really nice. Any other questions for Joy? If anybody has. No, then I think we are already on the time to invite our next speakers of the day, Mr. Anand. And I would thank you, Joy. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
For your input and insights and the work which you are doing on this. So some of the people, those who may be more interested to either follow up or have some clarification questions, they may get in touch with you, Raghu or Prabir, because the One School, One Pond program is very captivating. It's a very both creative, imaginative, practical. It brings together many things, and it has, I think, huge potential to build on something. It has, of course, its own challenges. That is always there. One has to go through them or work on them. You're most welcome to be around, and you can also listen to the next presenter. Mansee, I would like you to introduce Mr. Anand.
Yeah. Thank you, Lalit, and thanks, Joy, for taking us through how, as an individual or as a volunteer or as a common citizen, we can engage with the larger purpose where a collective action is already in progress. So this is very encouraging, because all of us have to know that we are not the first person to enter an initiative. The initiative is already going. It's like a train which is running, and it has stopped at your station probably these 2 weeks, where you are thinking whether I want to board the train or not. So Joy's presentation, after what was presented by Raghu and Prabir, must have given you ideas in what ways they are trying to do things, and in where all you can actually engage. So thank you again for your presentation, and I see Raghu is also there. So with this, I take the pleasure of inviting our very young environmentalist and enthusiastic, who has really big dreams to do a lot of lake work in his life. I happen to know him very recently, I will say 2 years, through a very well-known mentor from Bangalore. So here I present to you Mr. Anand Malligavad from Bangalore, who I met during a lake walk. And the name of the lake is really difficult, but I will try to name the lake, because it's important for me to learn to name these difficult lakes, because the identity of that lake has become very important. So Anand was involved in, yes, Anand, you're saying something? Or is there somebody saying in between?
It's Kalasanadi Lake.
No, yes, thank you so much. Yes, yes. No, I was actually trying to spell it out for everybody. Kyalahalli Lake.
Kyalasanhalli.
Yeah, Kyalasanhalli. Yes, I managed it. Okay, so Anand has a big target. It's not only one lake which I came to learn about it, but after I visited that lake and lake walk, I tried to figure out who is Anand, what is he doing, where all. So he has set up a personal goal of up to 2025 that he is going to save and conserve X number of lakes. I'm not giving that X number, probably that has changed also in the coming time. But we are very delighted to have you, Anand, because the entire course is about encouraging youth to engage and take risks and dream about doing something to bring a better society or a better water situation in the country. So with these few words, I leave it to the candidates to really Google through. I'm going to put some of your links in the chat box so that they can look through. And I just invite you to now speak and just open your heart to us, because I know you speak very well. I've heard you a few times. So please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much for organizing such a wonderful event for our next generation environmentalist. So I'm very proud to be with you today. And also, like I am not a science background or guy. I'm a mechanical engineer and work with corporate life for about 16 years in one organization. And part of, I was the head of projects in CSR. Part of the CSR, I wanted to take up some massive project like water body rejuvenation, creating forest, all those things. In the 2016, I started my journey, and I spent about years of time to visit about 180 lakes and to understand ecosystem of the lake and how existing lakes are. If you, most of the people that Bangalore is a lake city, more than 840 lakes built about 600 years with Mr. Kempegowda, who was one of the king of the Bangalore. And he's the man who built this Bangalore. And he's also interconnected all these 840 lakes. And Bangalore was having abundant water, like about 5 feet dia, about 20 feet deep. Every house had a well, and they used to get a water in a fingertip, and the best quality water. So now, over a period of time, unplanned urbanization and lot many issues and lack of planning and carelessness about water. So we could able to destroy all those comfort cushion. And now we have reached 700 to 1,000 feet deep, where from 20 to 50 feet. And earlier borewell rating around 95%. Now we have fallen down to 40 to 60%. Reason is that every city has got its uniqueness, and it is built, with a proper ecosystem by nature, like lakhs together here. And without realizing, without understanding native ecosystem, if we live in that place, definitely we will going to face a problem. Also, we will going to destroy that, and we will be the sufferer. So not only we, next generation will going to be in a pathetic condition. So like that, Bangalore, so many people came from so many places. They lived in here without knowing the history. Like Chennai, Mumbai and all, they are from British time. Then there are a lot of people who stays from longer time there, and Delhi and all. But Bangalore is overnight grown city. Overnight it is grown, and people also just came, and without understanding the consequences, they just lived in here. And most of the lakes are buried. Like only 240 lakes are left. Out of that, 81 are alive. About 8 to 10 lakes are having a better quality of water. Better quality means bathable condition. So the entire Bangalore, they are getting pumped water. They are getting from the Mysore, which is 180 kilometers. Which Bangalore has abundant water. Like Bangalore, one of the biggest bus stop, which is a Majestic we call, that is in the bed of lake. 1,800 acres of Dharmambudi and Kempambudi lakes have been converted into the bus stops, which were catering entire Bangalore water crisis. You see confined and unconfined aquifers. These lakes play a vital role to recharge these aquifers. Right? Say like we had about four or five rivers like Vrishbhavati, Arkavati, all those. We have converted them into sewage canals today. You can't even stand in front of that. We cannot call rivers at all. And most of the aquifers are getting filled up with the lakes, and which are interconnected. And it was the economy. It was the like a ecosystem. It was having a best weather, best like a temperature, everything. Bangalore was air conditioned city. One of the reason is lakes and its ecosystem, right? So I seen like Mr. Joy said, like like governments just they run it. World Bank, if somebody banks get from Moon or Mars, also they take a loan. And they get a money, and for sake of doing it, they do it. So I don't want to blame governments. Every kids, born baby knows how our governments are running the system, and it is a waste of time talking about them. This is why what I thought is, instead of blaming, instead of talking about people like 130 crore people, I thought of doing something better for this planet. I don't want to be as a consumer and leave this planet. Air, water, food, everything I enjoy and go. No. So I want to give it something back to my next generation and go. That is how I started my lake journey. And if you see, as of now, last 6 years time, I could able to originate about 14 lakes. Out of the 10, I directly did it. And 4, I helped a lot of other people's in terms of technically, monetary, and we trained them. I stood there and get it done. So my whole idea is by 2025, I have read one of the newspaper that Bangalore will become zero water city. Not only Bangalore, by 2025-30, 21 cities will going to be dry. And best classical example, 2 years back, Chennai. We have everything remote system. We have everything technology. In mobile app, everything we get, but we bought water in the trains. For drinking water in Chennai, the entire city was shut down. Lot of software companies' hotel has been closed because there were no water in Chennai, right? So that is in between came. So just imagine we overcome that. If it goes longer time, more than 1 to 2 years. So like Hampi, you might have heard, which is a largest international market in the country like India, like 800 years back. Today, if you go there, only rocks and stone sculptures are there. Other than that, nothing is there. So if there is no water, the cities also will go like that. Just they will become a devil building concrete jungle, right? And just imagine, so many people came from various states, various countries to live in here because of better city. Imagine if there is no water, if they all go back, it will become a dead city. So that is why I thought of doing something for my country, right? My planet, because we have one country, we have one planet for us, right? So this is how I started my journey. Just I'll go with one of the presentation, like Joy said, I also working in a similar concept. Like, I don't work with just one lake there, one lake here. I'm following some system that we work like a stream wise, like I'll just show you. Okay, this is my lake only wallpaper, not taken from any Google or somebody else. So there is an island for birds, there is a water body, there is a forest around, right? And I work on urban lakes, semi-urban lakes, and rural lakes. Urban lakes, huge encroachment, built a lot of buildings, hotels, like stadiums, everything in the lake bed, right? Like today, Bangalore's hockey stadium, all these stadiums and golf courses and built on the lake only. Okay, and they are highly contaminated in eutrophication. Water Waterbodies lake, you might have heard, which is a burning and frothing lake. Globe knows about it, right? So, there are a lot of firefighting people, and other countries, you see in the particular season only snow, but Waterbodies, a whole year you can see the snow. So that is the big advantage we got from the, people of 1.5 crore, people of Bangaloreans. We have created a beautiful snowfall area. And also, for firing or anything, like need not to go to Australia to burning forest and all. You just come to Bangalore, you will find always fire and a beautiful, like you can do photography and all. Okay, so that way. And I work on purification and with wetlands in particular city lakes and semi-urban, partially encroached, like they're just ready to attack and they're ready to conquer this government lakes. So all the soldiers and all kings are ready here. So that is in the name of Lake View Apartments, they are talking about Lake View Villas, all Lake View, but there is no water in lake, but they don't have plan to bring water. And some of the lakes are there, they are connecting their sewage and connecting it. So that they call as a Lake View Apartments. Because today, if you see the economy, the health sector is in number 2 or 3. It's supposed to be free and it's supposed to be like a Gurukul type of system and Gurukul type of like Ayurveda and all we had. Now we are in 3, means whatever we earn, we spent on health. So by staying in these apartments nearby this lake, we should not breathe oxygen and we have to breathe methane gas. That is their ideas. Okay. So, and also see, these are all also equally contaminated. And increasing here, what we are doing is we are increasing water holding capacity so that our aquifers will be recharged. And rural also similar way, most of the rural lakes are dead. Reason is because of urea, DAP, pesticides, all fertilizers, huge destruction. And also in all the villages, the people started putting concrete in the name of Suvarnagram. In Suvarnagram name, earlier water used to fall there, it used to percolate and it used to fill the aquifers. Now what happened, everything flows nearby the village lake and it is getting contaminated. There is no further system for sewage treatment or anything. This is a mosquito breeding place, and not only corona you destroy here, but with mask you can safeguard. But there are a lot of many diseases people are facing. And see, if you see my design.
Anand, sorry, Anand. I think Renuka is very excited to join something what you were saying, and she has raised hand. Do you mind taking a point from Renuka?
I feel, yeah, okay, no problem.
No, it's up to you.
No problem. Let's go step by step.
I think she got excited with your Bangalore story. Renuka, do you want to add to Anand? Is it by mistake your hand is raised? I don't know. Renuka? Yes.
Maybe I did it wrongly, ma'am.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
I'm just enjoying his inputs. But a great thought he is having, and I'm just enjoying it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah. See, whole idea is that, like governments, they spend crores together money to restore the lakes. They don't know. See, most of the global, most of the environmentalists are so many people who claim that they are environmentalists. They don't know how to work on water. See, biggest issue is like water is the free commodity. People think that it is abundant. Below the ground, there is a sweetwater ocean, which it is really in a 3%. Right. So what they do is they just to use only out of 80 crore species, human is the one where they convert 100% crystal clear water to grey water. No animals, nothing they will going to convert into grey. In fact, see, whatever water bodies you see in the wildlife and all, they're better than ours. They also eat, they also drink, they do discharge everything, but it will not be in water. Right. So whole idea is once crystal clear water, it converted into gray, it is very difficult to treat. Even I have been working with STP and ETP and all from long term, like last 15 years. So we have to spend a lot of energy, time, lot of expenses occurs, but it is not guaranteed that we can treat the water. Across the globe, so many people come up with so many techniques, this, that, and all. Okay. So first, what we have to do is we have to be careful before utilizing and converting into gray. That's supposed to be our main agenda. Let's use this water, enjoy. This is for us only. It is for 84 crore species, including trees, birds, everything. But let's use responsibly. That is the thing I am telling you. And if you see my lake design, see, lake, just to people spend crores together and they desilt it and they create a lot of open gym, walking track, interlocking tiles, so many steels. In fact, they use SS304 material because in the lake there will be methane gas, and if you put a MS, they will get rusted. For long time duration, they put SS, and they don't want to cut the methane gas generation. They don't want to reduce the eutrophication. They don't want to treat the water. Right. So that is the condition I see. So what I am working is like I am trying to restore the lake ecologically, like based on local topography, local growth of the village or city or anything, and soil condition and surroundings and the basic ecosystem, whatever is there, we have to utilize same material there and we have to convert it. That is what I'm trying to do. And if you see any ecosystem, water is base, then there is a forest, then a wildlife. Right? Water is base. We evolve from water, then wildlife will come. And 80 crore species, human also one among them. We think that no, 84 other species are different, we are separate. No, we grown together, we evolve together, we come. But we are too smart and too greedy, we come out separately and taking their place. So that is what they're taking their resources, and we are creating a lot of vacuum. So that is what we do. So that is why what I'm doing is 60% water body, 40% native forest, like fruits, medicinal plants, right? Like a big flowering trees, anything germinate. It should not be cut. It should not be made of bonsais. They should grow because they use a lot of nutrients. They use a lot of our water and they should grow well and they should become a shelter. See, we think that whatever humans useful to us, then we say there are good things. And whatever it is not useful for us, we tell they're bad thing. So nothing is bad, nothing is good in this nature. Something is not useful to us, it is useful to some other species. They utilize it. So we should respect everything. So that is how I work on 60% water body, 40% afforestation with the native trees. Say, for example, most of the people, they put a grass. Grass will not going to give you a flower. It will not going to give you a fruit. It will not become a big tree. Keep on watering them. It is a water guzzler. You will keep on cutting to see green, right? But same thing if you grow a forest in the same land and it can sink a carbon, it can produce oxygen, it will become shelter to someone. So this is what I am working. And if you see desilting of the lake, just people go ahead and desilt in a mass way. That is wrong. Why? Because to create a topsoil, it will take a 15 to 20 years. It is very long duration. And having a 6% of like a biocarbon in that, it will take longer time. Just we dug up and just we throw it off. So that should not be the case. What I do is I consider topsoil, middle soil, and below. Top will be the rich nutrient clay, which I separate it and put it for afforestation so that I don't use urea, DAP, all those things, fertilizer. And second is clay and gravel, and that I use it for like a bunds around the lake. And third is gravel, which I put it in a top surface of the like a bund, so that there will not be soil erosion, it will not be sticky, and it will going to percolate. So this is what we do. And based on the lake clay situation, we decide the depth of the lake and the area and size and shape of the lake. Based on that, we decide the depth of the lake. So how much supposed to be desilted, right? And also we calculate the surrounding topography as well as catchment area. Based on that, we plan these things. And also, if you see my lake design, I don't use any steel, cement, concrete, because they have got self-life. Lakes are here, lakhs together here. It will going to be here, lakhs together here. We just butterfly, like a lake conservationist, I come and go off. But this lake has to sustain. It means it should have a natural material, like which, for example, if you see this design, like I use a bamboo and bougainvillea as a fencing material, so that they keep growing, they keep fencing, right? They become a shelter for the birds. They reduce carbon and they produce a lot of oxygen, and they are the shelter for a lot of nesting. And they are not more water this thing, and they grow without water also, bougainvillea. Also 9 months you will have a flowers in it, so that it attracts a lot of pollinators, bees and butterflies. And if you see my bund is not for only walking, it is stopping the encroachment further. So I create a bund in the end of the lakeland, so that I raise the height. If they want to encroach, they have to damage this bund. The moment they damage the bund, then walkers and joggers will come to know within 1 hour's time, so that they cannot, they can immediately take action against that. If you put any grills or anything, overnight people can remove, then put it something else they can do. Also, not only creating bund in the height and also in the edge, I also grow bigger saplings, right? Like for example, lake other side, I grow like a bigger canopy trees. Lake side, medium canopy trees. Then whatever stones I get it in the lake, I do stone pitching little bit, not blasting on the ecology and bringing, those stones by burning fossil fuel and increasing the carbon footing. No. So those things, whatever I get as stones, I do stone pitching. And there will be another like a 5 feet for trees, 5 feet for trees, 15 feet for walking and jogging track, so that let people move around the lake, so that no nuisance will going to happen. Like like-minded people, photographers, cyclers, morning joggers and walkers, they should roam around, so that this lake is protected by people only, community only. Otherwise, you put a security will be in one corner, nuisance will happen in one corner. That is why it should be connected to people. So, and when people come, kids also will come, animals also will come. For their safety, I given one step. This step will going to have a shrubs variety, which attract a lot of bees and butterflies, and it is a safety. Suddenly, kids cannot get into suddenly water, so they will have one more safety area. And also slopes, what I maintain is not 1:2, which government mentions 1:4. It's supposed to be very shallow lake. What happens when water is going down, and any birds can aram se sit and do fishing, and they can also, any animal they can sit and drink aram se water. And also any kids, if they get into it, there should not be big fatal things. And also I don't do stone pitching there, because stone pitching, if you do it, most of the lake construction means everybody first decide for stone pitching. Any lake you go, they do stone pitching. I don't know why they are doing stone pitching. They tell that it is a controlling soil erosion. It will only control the soil erosion, but also it will going to equally evaporate the water. When stone will get hotter, then the water also become hotter, then it evaporates more. And that is why what I do is I use Wadelia and vetiver grass. Vetiver grass will going to leave a lot of deep roots, and it control the soil erosion, and it will be fodder for the surrounding cows and cattle. Because the moment you rejuvenate the lake, it is a grazing land earlier, and you are taking away that land and making it a water body, then surrounding dairy system will going to get collapsed. So equal amount area I put a vetiver other grasses, so that they can cut and they can graze, so that will not be imbalanced. And also they purify the water, right? So this is what we do. And if you see, this is one of the lake, Nanjapura. In a pandemic time I rejuvenated. If you see this entire lake, natural slopes, where there is no danger for the kids or humans or anything. and none of the water will directly enter into the lake. Very clear. Say this is a main entry point. There are 3 steps here. Each step, first plastic thermocol PET bottles will be trapped. Second, silt will be trapped. Third, silt will be trapped. Fourth, it will get cultured. Then only water will come to this lake. And if you see here also agriculture land, there is a silt trap in a natural way. It should not be structure. You can't, then you have to clean with humans because the structure will damage. That is why what I do is I create a mud structure so that you can, with the excavator you can remove it easily, faster. So that way, and from here it goes to this Kalyani. Kalyani is one of the intervention. There, idle immersion, all those things can be done, and kids can swim there. Puja, flowers, everything can be thrown there, which can be easily cleaned. And PET bottles, all those things can be trapped in a smaller area. If it goes to bigger area, then it, based on the wind, it will move daily one direction. It is very difficult to clean for people. So here you can do that, and it is also silt trap. So this one pond can create a lot many effects. So this is what we do. And I also rejuvenate lake in a, see, Bangalore urban lake, urbans, and I'm working in a semi-urban. Most I'm considering because Bangalore urban is in a almost ICU patient, right? But they are going to be ICU, right? Then I am trying to do not by allopathy or homeopathy medicine. I am trying to give them like a Ayurvedic medicine, whereas their generation will not get the disease. That kind of things is like ecosystem. That is what ecological restoration. Putting concrete, putting steel and all, they're all like a English medicines. What we are doing is a Ayurvedic medicine. So water body with, like a forest with a wildlife together, and it will not only cure that area, it will also change entire other areas also. So that is what, and why I am started in a South Bangalore is because South Bangalore is connected to one of the forest. If you see Bangalore National Park, it is connected up to Nallamala forest. So already there is a ecosystem, there is already forest, there is already water body, there is already life. So if I rejuvenate here, easy they will merge it. That is the ecosystem. See, anybody can create a structures, but they cannot fill up it. Anybody can put a seeds, but they can't germinate. It has to naturally happen. Like I can create a structure of lakes, but I can't fill it. And I can put a forest, I can't bring birds here, but they have to naturally come. So naturally come means there is a natural habitat here. And as Mr. Joy said, we call stream of the lakes. For example, this is one stream, right? So Gavi Lake is there, Vapsandra is there, Kalasnari is there, Bandanalsandra is there. Same stream too, like Kulimangla, Nanjapura. Like that, there are 11 streams, 45 lakes I identified in a South Bangalore. And if you see, they all flow into one bigger lake. See, Gavi is 3 acres, Vapsandra is 9 acres, Kalasnari is 36 acres, Bandanalsandra is about 27 acres. They all flow into 450 acres, one lake. That is called Hennagara Lake. So my target is Hennagara Lake, but I don't rejuvenate it. I don't work on it because I need about 150 crores. Nobody will going to give. I need about 2 to 3 years time to rejuvenate, and nobody will going to have a time. So what I am thinking is I am trying to rejuvenate the lakes, which 11 streams, 45 lakes connected to this lake. If I rejuvenate all those things, then definitely this will be saved. And this overflows to one more Chandapura, then Konsagra. After that, it goes to 1,800 Lake Bidarguppe, Mutyanallur to Bidarguppe, then it goes to Palar River. So by doing this, all 45 lakes, 11 streams, I can able to save one more river, that is Palar River. See, whole idea is we should start from our tap, right? I in fact tell you one more thing, we should start from our borewell, then overhead tank, then tap, then our outlet. This is supposed to be our formula, not in the outlet we will going to work. No. So this is what I'm working on. And if you see this Nanjapura Lake, I showed you it was in a pathetic condition like this. And there were no single drop of water last 40 years. It was dead lake. We desilted, increased the capacity of 3 times. And we also have a like a Dishank Bhumi app, which is government is digitalized. When a fantastic job Karnataka government did is, there is a Dishank app, there is a Bhumi app, which in the state first Karnataka only did. Anywhere I can stand and I can know the survey number and borders, everything. Need not to go to surveyors. And I can download from the website, and I do survey myself and clear the encroachments. As of now, out of 14 lakes, I could able to clear 32 acres of encroachment without single constable or any governments or any authority. They did not come. They will not going to come also. They don't want to take such risk. They want to be always safe with gunmen and bodyguards. Right? For me, kind of person, I left my corporate job. I'm clearing it. But for me, gunmen and bodyguards is 5 elements. Right? That nature that is protecting with aura for me. Nobody is touched as of now. God grace. Okay, but I have cleared it. All Damki, Gundagiri, builders, mafia, everything is happened, but still I'm strong. I'm just handling it. So I'm not afraid of anyone. So this is how I'm going it. And also, if you see my design, it will be simple this way. There will not be too much of AutoCAD, GitAutoCAD, 3D sections and all, because there people are working as earth movers, truck drivers, some supervisors and all. I don't have cushion money to keep IITs, IIMs. So that is why I kept simple people where I pay 10-20,000 rupees. Like most of my lakes are rejuvenated in a 45 to 60 days, which governments take more than 1 to 2 years. And 36-acre lake, government spends more than 15 to 16 crores. I did it less than 95 lakhs. Right? So lowest, less than 1/4 cost, which Madam visited, Mansee Madam, that lake is done in only 45 days, 36 acres. That lake is done in less than 95 lakhs. And you can see that lake today, it is the best habitat for a lot of birds, fishes, lot of species, nice plants, trees grown. And daily 1,000 people are walking there. Nobody used to go there. Now it has become a hotspot for the nature lovers. Right? So that is what. And the monthly maintenance is 0. Maximum I keep on gardener, and not for cutting and maintaining or grooming weeds and nothing. In summer, you will go into only water weekly once. Other time, so they maintain themselves. This is what we do. And simple design is like this. And this was the Nanjapura before, dry. And slowly we started work. We converted into this type. And within, I think, 9.5 days, we could able to get a full of water in the lake, because I dug up all the streams which were closed and input waters, everything. See, we opened up while big resistance, like a lot of farmers around, they made it 20 feet, they made it 1 feet, 1.5 feet. So while digging it itself, a lot of fighting, so many things taken place. But see, any good work you want to do, honestly, genuinely, there will be a lot of resistance from this planet. So we have to undergo with that. Need not to afraid, need not to get demotivated. Let's focus, let's move on, and things will move. So this is what the lake looks, and full of water in a 9.5 days. And this is my first lake, which is Kalisnari Lake, which Madam visited this lake. And there are 5 islands I created exclusively for birds. And also, I don't create islands in all the lakes, because it reduces the water holding capacity. That is why 10 kilometer dia, I'll create 1 lake exclusively for birds. And each island is designed for particular birds. Like, for example, small birds, because of their predator birds, they are afraid of, keeping their nest and all, because they poach the, puppies, and they poach the eggs and all. That is why I put a maximum covered, like a Singapore cherry or something like that, which cannot be covered, so that bigger birds will not enter and they cannot snatch these things. So like that. And for bigger birds, I created a big long trees. And if you see, these islands each are designed based on the study of the particular birds and what they like and what they're supposed to have. See, any bird wants to nest, it needs to have water, food, and safety, right, for them. So all those things we created. That is why highest birds are there. And if you see, this is a traditional forest, which 10 feet we grow as traditional forest. This is a Miyawaki forest, which grows 10 times faster, 30 times denser. Always it is 100% biodiversity supportive. This is a grassland. So this is a wetland. Wetland, I have a lot of lotus lilies, I put it, so that they reduce the evaporation, they purify the water. Also, they give a lot of flowers, which economy can be built. Like a lot of villages, they come and they pluck, they sell every day these 40-50 rupees flowers, and they lead their life. So this is how they connected. And 1/2 inch to about 5 feet, 15 kg fishes available, 65 variety of birds as per the bird census available in this lake. And 2017 it is filled. As of now, never gone dry. It is completely crystal clear water in this lake. Like last 5 years, in rainy season, it goes up to 90%. winter it fall down to 70, then summer it comes to about 45 to 50, then again rainy season it fill. That is the lake condition. It should not be fully filled 100% whole year. There is no use of it. It has to undergo the cycle. That is what we balance evaporation and percolation ratings in this. And also this lake look like this, crystal clear, right? And also lot of birds, fruits like Wadelia, 9 months you will have a flower in it, lot of pollinators, surrounding farmers about 20-25% yield is increased, right? So Wadelia is a zero maintenance plant, no need of watering, it will not go very big. And also it will not allow any other weeds to grow except grass. So that is the Wadelia capacity, and it will control a lot of soil erosion. And also this is my second lake above the Calisnary, right? I shown in the graph. And here we have each lake is designed differently. Like every lake, there is no copy paste. Like in this lake particularly, this is a silt trap. This is 8 feet. This is a 16 feet. This is a 32 feet. This is a shallow lake land for the birds, right? So 1 rain, first one will fill. 3 rains, second one fill. 5 rains, third one fill. If you open it just and 5 rains happened and this year no rain, then half it of water will percolate in a bigger area and it will evaporate and it will become dry lake. My idea is like a small pockets if I hold the water. So entire year there will be some water in the lake for the birds and animals. That is the concept I followed here. Here you will find only one island. Okay. And also there is a sewage water coming from this village. I did not do anything, just I put a earthen bund with a mud. I planted all native aquatic plants here. And from year to year, slowly their water roll out about 4 to 5 years. By the time they reach this area, it will be crystal clear because plants has that capacity. They remove all NPK. They remove all the excess nutrients. So they purify the water. So this is what I do. Then that lakes look like this with forest and other thing. And this is one of the lake called Konsandra Lake. And it was a pathetic lake with the industrial effluents, right? I just separated rainwater catchment 85%, and sewage water and effluent is separate, right? Just separated. Earlier it was going and mixing with that and it was piling full lake. I separated it. So what happens? Rainwater need not to treat, right? So only you have to treat is this. If you mix it, you have to treat everything. Rather than that, what it is, I used a lot of aquatic plants, all those things. We treat water here. When this lake is empty, this will start flowing here. If this lake is full, both will start flowing into next lake. This is what concept I created here. And this is a Gavi lake, which is a small lake. I done it in a step well concept. Each step, there are a lot of herbs, shrubs planted, which when lake is full, they purify the water. When lake is dry, so they act as a fauna, flora and fauna. Yes. And also, this is one more lake called Mane Lake, which this lake I rejuvenated with the help of 8th standard kids, 4 girls, 1 boy. And these kids, I trained them how to design the lake, how to raise a fund, and how to execute the lake project. They went to United Nations at the Wafuna, and they presented in front of 180 countries. Mr. Syed Akbaruddin, who was a brand ambassador from the United Nations, he met these kids, and 1 hour he spent time with them, and he tweeted also. So we don't only tell the burning and frothing stories. We also tell that we rejuvenate. We are capable of rejuvenating lakes. This lake is in a Bannerghatta National Park nearby. Here, this is a wildlife lake. See, here you will not find any walking track, jogging track. There is only one place where photographers and any viewers can stand here, very away from the animals. And this side, I put all native fruits, medicinal plants, all those trees, and whatever silt I removed here, I planted here, everything. And animals will come here, they drink, they relax, they go. So humans and animals, there is no link. So this is what I have done it here. And only they can monitor and observe. So that lake water looks like this whole year. And it is a shallow lake completely. And this Nanjapura, I told you, this looks like this. And this is a Haroshidapura lake. I have one more system called natural biological sewage treatment. No electricity, no chemicals, nothing. Just I played with the earthen bunds. I played with like a meandering system of water moving, and it will not move in one surface. It will go in the falls type of things. And also boulder, jelly, sand, coal, and some of the aquatic plants like canna, like elephant ear, star grass, all those 23 variety of aquatic plants I used, so that naturally water will get purified and come to this particular area. And this water will be utilized for our forest watering purpose. See, whole idea is not to leave for one lake to another lake, no more diversion. Whatever 1 ml you generate, 1 ml the equivalent forest I create, so I consume there. So that entire sewage water is good for the plants and this thing. Like 1 liter water, if you put it for one tree, 250 ml maybe photosynthesis, 250 ml evaporation, and another 500 ml by using this media only, it will get seeped into the ground. Right? This is what I am following the concept. So any water is generated gray, it has to be consumed there. And it has to be not transferred to rivers, not next lake or anything. This is what the concept I did here. And this lake looks like this. It was full of algal blooms, pathetic, full of smell, horrible. Same 62 days I could able to convert this, and nature filled this entire water. And this is one more lake. Here a lot of Bangalore lakes planted by forest department. Huge trees there, acacia, pongamia, like lot of plants they plant because of a lot of desilting, and people are taking away soil, and also they dump lot many things. That is why there will not be water because sources are cut. They just plant a trees and leave it, so that will be secured. Okay, in such lakes also I am working without cutting one tree. I created as islands, and they put only one variety of plants like acacia or these things. There I added lot many other fruits and medicinal plants in that island, and without reducing water holding capacity, I increased the depth, so that 11,50,000 cubic meter water holding capacity I created, and all the islands are there. So it is called mini Pattaya in Bangalore I created. So like this, this is one more lake called Devsandra Lake, full of effluent, sewage, and a lot of fishes died, a lot of cows died. And more than 12 villages in their borewell, they used to get a color water, yellow, green, bluish and all. So this lake also I created same theme. You can see here, this entire 30 acres lake. So 18 acres were in the position. This entire 12 acres were encroached, and people were growing a paddy out of this sewage water. Just imagine such a toxic water they were utilizing for growing the food product, right? So this encroachment I cleared. I rejuvenated this. You can see here, this black line is here. This is a sewage entering from the lake, which it was spoiling entire. Say you have a 10 liter of water, because of 10 ml of sewage, 10 liter used to get spoiled. So now what I did is 10 ml separate, this 10 liter separate. You can see here, this comes here. We have put a lot of aquatic plants here. Then they will get purified. You can see this black water is converted into yellowish now. You can see here, right? In photograph, this is not a design. This is not a AutoCAD or some 3D modeling. It is a real photograph of through the drone shot. It is okay. So you can see here, this is crystal clear. So after that, it flows into next lake. And if you see here, there were a huge acacia plant forest. I did not cut even single tree. What I did is just I increased the height of that bed, so that will not interact with water. If you see acacia and eucalyptus leaves falls into water, within 24 hours, they convert water into black, and they increase huge nutrients. Because of nutrients, lot many things will shoot up. So that is why what I did is, this entire acacia, I have created a big bund around. Any tree leaves falls, it will not going to fly, or it will not going to flow along with the water into the lake. It will be within the bund. So it will get composted there only. And every year, maybe after 4 years, when I do desilting, I put one more layer, so that it will be buried and it will become a biomass. This theme I have created. And now I am working with one of the lake. April 19th I started, and it was having, you can see this 214 survey number. It was a complete 15 feet pathetic water. I discharged slowly by naturally filtering to next lake. I removed 1.8 meter lichet was there, and I removed everything, mixed with a fresh soil, put it inside the bund, inside the walking track, so that it will not be exposed to sunlight, it will not be exposed to rain. Okay, we have, see, I can't throw this out of the planet. I don't have any pipeline system to throw in moon or Mars. So this entire generated, I can't throw it in some other area. We have to use it here only. Only thing we have to do is we have to bury them carefully, so that they will not spoil the underground or anything. This way, I completed this lake. God grace, day before yesterday night, 2 hours time, beautiful rain came, 4 feet, like a buttermilk kind of water came. and a lot of birds sitting like, and they're enjoying. So this is the grace I get. And one more lake I'm doing with the Sadali Lake, which is a 110 acres lake, which I'm going to start from July end. It is near Devnadi Airport this year. So if you see my my timeline, 2016 I studied about lakes. I did not do one. 2017 I did one lake. 18 did one lake. 19 I did 2 lakes. Now 20 in a pandemic time itself I did 4 lakes. And now I've already completed 2. I'm going to do another 2. If you take area wise, I'm going to cover this area this year only 250 acres of land, barren land I'm converting into water holding capacity. So single man and a lot of teamwork, villagers, authorities also I'm involving, very limited, and no more politicians definitely in my team. They will not be entertained. And also a lot of my learnings, my practices, I'm exchanging with people through like this Zoom. It is not that I rejuvenate, I die. Maybe whole life I can do 1,000 lakes, not more than that, definitely. And if I do 1,000 lakes, it's not sufficient. I need to create 1 lakh Anand, where they can learn, they can practice, they can have a like a inspiration, and they can rejuvenate the lake across the planet. So this is what my dream. So as Madam said, 11 streams, 45 lakes by 2025. I want to plant 5 lakh trees. This is declared in 2019 when I left my job. But no more these statistics now. Now I'm going to cross more than 21 cities. I'm going to have more than 100, 500 lakes. And also I'm going to plant more than 1 crore trees. That is my dream. And please all you pray for me to achieve my goals for your future. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And you made my day today, Anand, and I was expecting something like this coming from you, and that's why I didn't share your target to the people here, because I knew the target is changing.
Yeah.
And it is going to evolve every day with more and more motivation coming, and it was so inspiring to see how you really just jumped into the system, and you importantly there are a few takeaways for all of us, and I'm just going to tell what I learned. Importantly, you took time to think and understand what is the system. That's first part. Then also daring to leave something which was very comfortable and taking up something which you knew is going to bring a lot of risk. You see, I'm still not talking about the lake itself, but something as an individual, what you have to take as steps, So because when you reach the lake, of course, when you start understanding, this is also something all the participants can realize. When you invite somebody from the office or consultancy or, corporate, you will hear a complete different narrative about development. Whereas when you hear somebody like Anand or Joy today we had, you hear a completely different passionate story where people have worked on the ground. That's important part. Another important takeaway from an interesting map which you had, that you have a target to do a 1 big lake. Instead of touching that lake, you worked on the smaller lakes all around it and talked about rejuvenating the streams. This is something which I have been also trying to tell them, that do not work on the lake directly and before you have understood the ecosystem. Another important point which I think is that the wastewater which is coming and whatever is contaminated there has to be there itself. You cannot throw away in other side of the planet. It has to be consumed and recycled and reused there. Very good point. And I think the last point which you raised, I'm just summarizing it quickly because we need to have questions for you. But importantly, the last point is that we have to do on our own. And you also made it very nice and humane by asking us to bless you. We want to join you, of course, bless you as well, but join you to do all these things. If one person can do 100 lakes and 1,000 lakes, so we have to imagine how 20% and how 200% can do. And I think that's where you also raise a very important point, that I want to share what I have learned so that the number of people like us grew. This is something which I also took a pledge some time ago, that if I do lake rejuvenation in my life, I may just manage to do 10 or 20 lakes. But I won't be able to do so many unless and until I create an army of people. And that brought me to this kind of work. So very inspiring. And with these words, I really thank you again and open the floor for people to ask questions to Anand. People are floored, let me tell you that. And we are really getting overwhelmed with all of you coming and inspiring us. Yes, any questions for Anand or any compliments or comments for him? He's a very good receptor. Huh? So you can tell him. Lalit, I see you also overwhelmed. Maybe you also want to start and do the warming up of Q&A.
Sure. It is totally overwhelming. I felt again, but I still get very inspired when I think of the pioneering people, those who came to Auroville. So this quality of having the pioneering spirit, taking that initiative, and if I use some of the words or the phrase, particularly the mother, the founder of Auroville, she says about Auroville, it's an adventure of unknown. Somebody having that faith, conviction, courage to take that path, leaving other comforts of life aside and working for this cause, which is a life supporting cause, water for all of us. I mean, I feel very humbled, very inspired, very deeply motivated. So I'm very happy that we got to know your story firsthand from you. What an enormous body of work you have done, and with a certain, what a practical approach you have developed. I mean, I find it mix of many things: the science, the creativity, practical ground condition, engaging communities, the students. Absolutely brilliant. Many, thank you very much. Incredible.
Thank you.
My rather question is, how do you also organizational point of view, how do you raise both funds? How do you motivate other people to join? How do you engage other things? Because of course resources are required. And how do the government or local authorities or whatever that appropriate, how they hand over lake to you? How does it all work? Just something on that will be helpful.
See here, basic my strategies. Every village, the lake I take, I meet first leaders. Leaders, not politician, definitely not politician. Some of the good leaders like Sarpanch and all, like some of the senior citizens, I meet them. I explain them my whole idea, what I am planning to do your lake, and I try to understand from them how the lake it was 30 years back, 40 years back. How are your economy? You are drinking in the water. Then how, when did it spoil? All those things I listen from them. I tell them what I'm going to do. I make a basic design and show it to them. I take them into conference. Then I go to each and every village houses. Like every 450, 500 houses I visit. See, generally in every village there is a route map of these politicians where they will go for taking that votes and all, right? Same route only I follow, right? Because they know how to reach every home in just 3 years. Same technique I use. I go, I just tell them we are rejuvenating lake. You be part of us, and it should not be Anand Lake. It should be your lake, and also Anand will be person rejuvenate and go off, and you are the owner of it. So I don't want any money or anything. You don't want to put any effort. Just you be with me, support with me. So I take people into confidence. Then I approach Gram Panchayat. I give them my memorandum of understanding. I tell them that this is what I am Anand Malligavad, so and so corporate support. I have got CSR funding from so much, and I need to rejuvenate this lake ecologically, and I want to take care of next 10 years of this lake. So please give me permission. So they gave the permission, and that permission letter I attach it to Tahsildar, minor irrigation, fisheries, and revenue department. I give them this letter. So this lake I am going to do it, and including police station. So I take these all people, I do Bhumi Puja, I start the activity with the help of corporate CSR funding. And I complete this all lake in 60 days, people will be mesmerized. Because 99% of the lakes, what government starts, they starting itself take 3 months, touching the job itself 6 months, finishing is 1 year. Mine 60 days, everything is over. And only God grace, as of now, it is a blessings from the nature is, the 60 days I complete, very next monsoon, the lake will get fully filled up. Because we do it very systematically by understanding local topography, everything. Right? So once that lake is done, then all done with the equipments, like trucks and this thing, because I don't use any volunteers for this kind of fatigue job. And it cannot be desilted with humans at all, with this generation. Okay, old generation it is done with humans only. All the lakes are constructed by humans, not definitely with any equipments. They were eating well, they were eating good food, good air, good water, and their thinking was very positive. They are powerful people. They did it, not we. Right, so that is why. And once it comes to plantation drives, I never do any automation. All these saplings, what I plant 10,000, 15,000 saplings with the volunteers. I call volunteers, villagers, I engage them. With love and affection, they plant the trees. After that planting, I keep one gardener with the corporate support and we maintain them. And every week, 15 days, whenever I feel, see, there is no particular time for me because it is my lake. Till my breath is there, it is my baby. I go whenever I want. Before going there, I call villagers, 5-10 people. I am coming there. Will you be available? Out of 10 people, at least 2-3 people are available. We will have a meeting. We discuss with them. We give them sense of responsibility, all those things. We formed one committee also. Each lake, we have 10-15 people committee. Right? Those committee will going to overtake the lake. And also, that committee also 10 people are there. One guy is very arrogant. He's a boss for the vandalism and grazing. And one guy is soft spoken, very humble, and he loves trees and plants. He's a boss of forest. Somebody likes swimming, gaming, adventurous, fishers and all. He's a boss of water. Like that, based on their strength, I created them. I given them departments. They handle it. And any small nuisance from morning 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock, I get it because there will be thousands of walkers, joggers, cycling people, and dog movers. So any nuisance, they message me simple. Take a photo, they send me. So my information system is much better than any satellite system. Right? People, the moment goes wrong, I'll know within 15 minutes. Before villager calls, I will have information. They are also shocked. Where are you getting, sir? Just now we seen. I said morning walkers only sent me. So this kind of information system. And we don't do anything modifying, verifying and all. First time only we put everything and put into proper place and see that it will run. This is what I'm doing. And some of the lakes I did with a crowdfunding. Like I went for crowdfunding because of people and they donated me and I did it. And how I am surviving is like I worked about 16 years. When I left my job in 2019, I got little bit money, which I kept it in bank. I have about 35 acres ancestor land, which I am doing the best of agriculture there. By sitting here, I give them best of the best dana, which I learned from lake. I get a best crop. I get little income there. And some of the people are giving me fellowship awards. And some of the corporates, they says, see, you are the water warrior. And first you supposed to be survived. Then we will take care of lake. They give me some fees, very nominal, and which I live. See, I need about 5 lakhs per year. My rent, my daughter education, food and everything. In fact, I'm a zero habit person. No smoking, no drinking, no boozing, no tea, coffee, nothing. One time food. If you give me 500, it will be 1 month in 500 in my pocket. So I brought this simple life and I'm living it. So this is how one by one lake I identify like a stream wise. Now earlier I had a big problem to take people into confidence, convincing them, talking to them. Even in fact authorities were doubting on me how to give approval. Tomorrow if we do wrong the lake, something breach happened, then you will take somebody's life. Something like invasive plants you will put, and something non-technical, unscientific way if he does, then that lake is gone. So all those things. Now what I am doing is when I am writing a letter, I will write Kalasnalli, Vabsandra, Nanjapuri type model. It means they are all 5 years successful. There is no issue. They are going well. So based on that model, I'm going to do this lake. So this is what I'm doing it. So this is the thing. I hope I answered for your question.
Very meticulous. Very meticulous. I think the way you have worked it out. No, I think other than, because the point is, I have seen many people, those who are trying to put genuinely good work, but I think what you have worked out, we have worked out many ecosystems, CSR funding, because I think funding is a critical issue. You worked that out. You have worked out your approach, how to approach people and how to use their own strengths for the local context. So I think it is a very well worked out, like you have seen the depth of all this.
And you will not believe, last 5 years time, I don't have any office. I don't have any employees. I don't have single rupee expenses and no telephone, nothing. Simple one man, one mobile. I have brought 17 crore rupees as of now to rejuvenate about these 14 lakes.
This is
And
incredible.
everywhere, every penny is calculated and worked out. See, eating money is how much dangerous. Utilizing somebody's fund wrong way also, it is most dangerous.
Yes.
Right? See, anybody is giving me 1 crore, every penny I am putting like from my pocket. That what is the returns, how, where, everything I think. See, this genuinity is all 5 elements. Nature is blessed. And there are a lot of threatened calls for me. When I am creating encroachment, people bring influence. They also told me, just walk, run away from this Bangalore. Don't be here. But I told them, you don't take too much attention. If you want to kill me, you tell me place and time. I will only come. Don't put a lot of effort. I'm very thin and simple guy. No need of a lot of gunda, mafia, drunk and all don't come. Just tell me, I'll come and you hit me. So this is what my approach. And I also told them, like me kind of people should not be available in this planet. Please first send it because I do good job. So as of now, God grace, people who came against like builders and all. So now they are also become cool, calm by seeing my job. And I never belongs to any caste, any negativity, any political parties or anything like that. See, I treat everyone same. Like village also I go, all caste, rich, poor, anybody comes, one treat, one system with them.
Just like water.
Yes, one treat, one system. So that given lot of affection. Like if I go to any village, all kids will come, Anand uncle, Anand uncle, Anand uncle. They will chill and come because kids also I will be like that. Middle-aged people, they come and keep head like this blessings for me. They says, Papu, you are doing a great job. Please do. We are all with you. We pray for you like that. So all these blessings, I am doing it. But how many years it runs, I'll do it. Otherwise, no problem. Right. So, but I am not a consumer of this planet and going with a loan. I want to give it back and go. That is my, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's not only technical, scientific, and encouraging speech, it is also spiritual and emotional feedback which you have given us today, which was also the very essence when Lalit and I were involved in conceptualizing the course. Yeah. That we need to just move people. Techniques are available, plants are available, money is available. It's just that how we can change people to do things which are required for the planet. I think with these words, we, okay, I see Anushri has raised hand. I was about to yes, Anushri, please go ahead.
Hello, ma'am. So basically, yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I cannot express how deeply moved I am with the way your conscience is so clear and the way you are working for nature. It's very hard to find people like you.
Thank you.
Jumping, I've already given a long message for you in terms of whatever I felt for the presentation. So is it possible, or do you mentor people who want to do something similar in other cities? This is
Definitely. I'm already doing it. A lot of people are working together with me. Not only just I'm sharing my knowledge, I'm exchanging knowledge. In fact, a lot of things I learned from kids, a lot of things I learned from various people, part of the life, right? So what we do is what I know, I share with them so that I can verify whether my thinking process and my doing is right or not. I can verify. Also, I learned a lot of practices from others. It is a kind of exchanging which I'm already doing it. So definitely we'll do it. Yeah.
Okay. So may I know how can I how can anybody connect with you? I mean, I'm
do one thing. Just you personally write a mail to me and
sure.
What are all your strengths? Where do you stay? How much time you can able to spare with me? So these 3 things you share with me. Based on that, I'll work on it with you because each is tailor-made people. See, we here it is not a certification course that just you join, pay a fees and get a marks. No. So I need to understand your time, your strengths, and where we can fit into you. All these things we work out and time frame, and let's work together. Definitely.
Great. Thank you.
And
so
my
much.
email ID is available. Just Google Anand Malligavad. Just enter everything you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Maybe thank you, Anushri. Maybe I also request Anand if you because people have asked requested for your contacts, but I will also share. I have his contacts and everything, so I can also share that to you. Any more questions for Anand? anyone else would like to ask him questions? We really don't want to let you go today.
Hi.
But I was expecting this when I was really calling you here. So, and I'm so happy that you agreed to come here. Is there anyone asking questions?
I have one question.
Yes, please go ahead.
So I didn't understand exactly how you decide how much to desilt.
Yeah. So basically, like, it is depending upon every lake, right? See, for example, there will be a lot of agriculture activities surrounding, right? So people just do a lot of cultivation. From there, huge silt will come and join the lake, right? So somewhere, full of like an industrial area, there is no silt. There will be a lot of, like a kind of lichet and other thing will be there. There will be a lot of industrial apartments and villaments. There you will find only treated water, right? So it is depending upon each lake. Just we dug up on particular depth. We check how much is the clay, how much is what is the gravel level, and what is the soil strata. Based on that, we take a call. And also size of the lake and shape of the lake also matter, right? So how shape, that is how size, because we have to give a safety those bunds also, right? If it is a too narrow lake, if you go for like a more deeper, then we are creating a killer point, right? So it is depending upon shape of the lake also matter. If it is a square and round and very larger lake, I can go a little bit deeper, so I can create a more and more deeper into the center point. So it has to go shallow. If it is a V shape, right, very narrow type, there we can't go more deeper. So that is why I showed you one of the lake, 8 feet, 16 feet, 32 feet. 8 feet is a narrow. I can't create there 16 feet, right? 16 feet is a little bit bigger. 32 feet with a little wider. So like that, each shape also matters. Yeah. I hope you got answer.
Yeah, got. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions for him? Okay.
And also you can write a personally mail to me.
Yes.
Any questions or anything, any moment. See, morning 6 to night 12, 365 days I am available. I don't have any other business. No more business. Only lake. I born with lake, die with lake. Okay, anytime.
Yeah.
Within, I also run this lake conservation activity as a Fortune 500. Any message you send me, last 5 years, within 15 minutes you will get reply from me. That is my commitment. Any mail you send me, within 8 hours, reply will be given to you. And anybody ask talking wise, within 24 hours, I fix up and I talk to you. That is my commitment. So we want to run as a Fortune 500 company, like we want to, give a service entire planet. That is my vision. Like when we are giving IT service, like all the services, environmental service, restoration service also, we want to give for whole globe in a very systematic manner with a lot of volunteers. That is whole dream. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we have a Fortune 500 eco company or lake company in the making. And you make me feel so good when you said that you are living, sleeping, eating lakes, as I also do that, but in the scientific community.
Yeah.
You are working on the ground community, which is so good to see.
Both are equivalent. Both are equally important. Like working class is not important. Even school also important.
Yes.
School will bring to working class.
Yes,
so both
absolutely.
are playing vital role. You are doing an excellent job.
Yes. We have to connect people to both the ends.
Definitely.
Because learning is important, but doing is also important.
In one part of the Karnataka, if I am keep on doing lake, if you don't organize this platform, how can I know all these 24 water warriors are like-minded environmentalists?
So we already grow the community, and this is the purpose also. I have been also trying to reach out to as many people and bring the knowledge and bring the people to as many people as possible. And the purpose of this course is more to shake and make people realize that it is possible. If you take a pledge, or if you now have decided to pack your bags and do something on the ground, it is possible. But there are also many other things which one can do around and with the lakes and the ponds if required. So I do want to inform people that there are other regions also where you are required. If a lake and pond is in a very good condition, you are still required because somebody has to maintain it.
Correct.
So you don't have to really go too far to really maintain a lake or a pond. If you want to just do your routine job and still adopt one baby, I think if India's population 1.3 crore, and if I say 35% is youth, and if 35% youth takes one lake or a pond, I think we have addressed all the lakes and ponds in this country, you know. It's a very simple math, and that is where, as teachers and scientists, we are also dreaming. Of course, we have slow steps, because it takes more time to change a person than changing a lake. This is also something which we need to understand.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
With these words, I really want to thank you once again for joining us. We will still continue with the session, but we are running extremely late, so I need to ask my senior and my team.
One small
what is the plan?
request. I have one more webinar from 4:45, but I am 15 minutes late. I am just quitting this. I am extremely sorry.
Sure.
Also,
No,
I'll watch
sure.
next speaker video. Please send me a link. Next speaker,
will do
I
that.
want to watch after this my session. So thank you
Next
so much.
speaker, yes. Thank you so much. Next speaker is me, so you are not going to miss
Oh,
anything.
okay, fine. So I definitely I'm going to watch it. Yeah, thank you.
I will
Thank you.
share with you. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
coming
Anand.
here and joining us. Thank you all. Yeah, thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we continue with our conversation here. But before that, I need to ask Lalit and the team, what do we plan for? Do we continue, or what do we do?
I think we can continue maybe with a short break of 5 minutes, and
Yes.
whatever, let us say, keep it short, and whatever
Yes.
important,
I think,
relevant,
yeah.
assignment related clarifications or any point you want to say, let us take it up a bit shortly. Ma'am, we take 5 minutes of break, and
Yes.
we continue
Resume
for
at
10,
5?
15 minutes.
Resume at 5?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just put it.
So yeah, we take a 5. Yeah, we meet each other at 5 o'clock right here. And I think today I will not detail out the governance part. Instead, we just resolve all any backlogs we have, or just take up a few parts of the governing mechanisms, what policies you must know, and all those things. Okay, chalo, bye. Okay.
We can also ask people to switch on their cameras also, no, sometime.
Yeah,
So we see
it's
some,
better if they switch on, but
yeah, so we
I try
see
to
some
convince
faces.
people.
Yeah,
I
otherwise
do try to convince people, but do you see my screen?
I see yours, yeah.
Yes, I can see.
Yes, thank you. I do try to convince people that please keep your video on, but I think some people do not have. Okay. Screen sharing has stopped because external display is disconnected. Okay. Why?
Try again.
Wait.
Does not look like anything from my end. Try again.
Is it visible?
Not at all.
Okay. But my sharing is on.
You are co-host and you can present. You just did it, no? Just it was coming in.
Yes, I don't know why. Yeah, I did it.
Nobody else is sharing, no?
No, but do you see now?
Yeah, something is coming now.
Your screen is sharing is paused. That's what message I'm getting.
It's gone again now.
Try
Do
again.
you see now?
Yeah, it is there. Make it.
Yes,
make
I
it
will
full
make
screen.
it now.
That's all.
I think once I'm trying to make it full screen, it is making problem. Okay, do you see it now?
It's working well. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, just a quick recap. We did talk about basic water discourse and development in the first session, where we talked about the dilemma of lake development and conservation, and all our speakers you saw are somehow inclined towards the conservation side. We did not talk much about cement, concrete, pitching, deepening, and all those things. But people did talk about dredging and desilting, and those things are also quite discussed with the speakers. We did talk about the health of the lake then, and we clarified how micro watershed and a macro water system of lakes matter. And you saw how Anand was talking about taking care of all the other lakes and the small channels to take care of the big lake. So these are the things we theoretically touched upon, but the speakers are also reinstating. Today, Joy also talked about this connecting the system of the lakes. Then in the last session, we were talking about the value of the lake and the actors involved in the game. You also heard how both today's speakers talked about the actors, why community makes a difference, how to get with local government, how to collaborate with corporates and so on and so forth. So we have talked about all this theoretically, and our speakers have endorsed it. I have provided you 2 readings. I'm going and award it again. Please go and read them. One will allow you to get emotionally attached with the system, and another will help you understand the society better. So we need to go through that. Now the third part, which is becoming a bit tricky and important for us, because we are running this course, we also want to learn from you. So you were given 2 assignments. One is My Lake, My Pond. So where you are actually encouraged to work on a pond story based on the sections which I'm covering in the theory part. So we have so far in 3 sessions covered 5 sections of that essay. That essay template is provided to you. You have to copy paste that template and work on it as an independent Word document. But every time that template is getting updated, because what I'm teaching here, I'm adding to the next subsection. So like today, I'm going to add the governance section as a section 6, because I have already detailed out from section 1 to section 5. So you have to look back into the classroom and see the uploaded or updated the template. and check out what are the subdivisions you are provided. Importantly, you may not address all the points which are given as a guiding factors to you, but whatever information you can gather and or understand, you should try. Again, I will stress upon that please try to do this report, because that becomes a starting document for you in hand to work on. And as I mentioned, we also want to learn what do you think about your partner, how do you want to engage. So like Anand invited you to engage, what do you want to send him? You want to send him 3 points, he mentioned as very nicely, but those 3 points already means 3 to 4 pages of write-up, which I'm trying to help you develop. So take the My Pond, My Story seriously, and also that will help to learn from each other these number of stories, because we are also trying to develop an army of lake enthusiasts. Now, the second assignment is very easy, which was asked to you in the pre-course session, which is about, the documenting one lake, and it's a very short documentation, 1 page or 1.5 page or 2 page, which you really like. And it can be from anywhere in the world. And both for that also a template is provided. You have to copy paste the template and write. It has only 3 subsections. What is the lake, background of that lake, why do I like it? And then the third subsection is that how can I use the learning for my lake and my pond? So this is what the 2 assignments are, and we will still continue to encourage you to do the 2 assignments. I know it is difficult, but it is also that you get started. I will be there for you to help afterwards as well. But you have to understand these 2 weeks we have dedicated for you. So we are more available. For me, the surprising part is that nobody is reaching us to clear their queries, which also tells me that you are not working on it enough. So I not want to be a nagging mother or a nagging teacher, but that's also part of my duty of this course. So I'm just giving an overview how people have attempted for. So this is the My Lake, My Story Pond. 4 participants have attempted for it, and it's great start, I must say. But all 4 of you, except Ayadi Mishra, she has attempted all the 5 sections of what guidelines I have provided. Rest of the 3 people have to really go back and look at the template and fill it up. They worked on the first 2 subsections, but they have not looked at the template. And please download it. You can read the instructions very carefully, and you will see when I have written the instruction, I have already mentioned, please read the instructions carefully. God lies in details. And I will actually endorse it next week more further, that why a complex system has to be first understood in a very nice way. You heard Anand, he spent 1 year just going lake to lake to understand. We are trying to bring the juice and extract of it to you to understand a lake at least in depth. So one is that you see many lakes and try to understand, but if you cannot, you at least understand one lake thoroughly in depth, and we are providing you the framework. So in nutshell, please download that template. It's an independent Word document. Every time I'm adding 1 subsection and the details for guiding you how you may use these components, and even including tables and pictures. So that's the first part. The best case study, some people have attempted, and 6 people I have put their names who have attempted. I think one person, Jenny Shah, is somehow a bit confused about whether it is my best lake or whether it is my pond, my lake. So maybe you like to look at it and see what you want to say. Yes, Lalit, you are raising your hand. Okay, no. Okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah, so that brings me to just a recap again. Because many of you have not looked at the assignment template, I have already included how you can start looking at the value of the lake, which was taught last time, and how you can start filling up this, because this becomes a very good chart to go to the villagers and talk about it, what it can offer, or go to the local community and talk about it. This is for you. This is also been laid out in your template of my school, my lake, my pond, where you can start mapping the actors. Who are the actors directly involved? How can I reach them? What is their contact number? And also a table has been made for you in the assignment where you can start building your own network who can be useful. As you heard from both the speakers, that how local authority, which officer, which person and who will be useful, where they will be available, and what time they can make ourselves useful, where the policies can be looked at. So all this mapping is important. So this was also part of your assignment section 5. You can do that, and this is provided in your assignment book. And you can start detailing out that how these actors and can be made utilized, can be exploited, if you want to use that word in a positive sense. So unless and until you build your network of people who to reach out and even convey them that I would like to do this, can you give me a way out? This becomes very important. So this is all what we were trying to encourage you to work on it. And I left you here last time. I want to take a pause and ask you if you are really facing any issue in doing the assignment. Or is it something which you really find not useful, or you want to improvise? You can actually tell your story otherwise also, because mind you, you have on 10th, you all are presenting. We have not scheduled much, lectures or anything. We have a guest of honor, a Padma Shri who has dedicated his life on lakes. And you are presenting in front of him. So we also want to ensure that you are ready to present something. It does not have to be that you have worked on it. If it is there, it is fine. If not, we also want to know how you want to present. What do you understand by a lake, or what are your concerns about our lake, or what are your pledges, what you want to do. So maybe a little pause and some questions if you have. No?
Yeah,
So
me personally, Lakshman here. So I just went through all the first three classes. So I will be working on the assignment from today onwards.
So, thank you. Yeah, because we also, you can also do it at one go, but just to inform people who have already started the assignment, please look for the latest file. I am putting updated file every time and putting the instructions very detailed. So you may have to read it also. Anyone else? Yes. It feels like a lot of info to gather. I do understand, Prabha, but you have to get started first. Have the name, look at what others are doing in each one of them. Of course, it's not an easy work. It takes years, it takes 6 months, but at least try to fill some information which you know, and you can also see that, okay, I need some information here. You can also do the gap identification and make a plan for yourself for next 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, so that we also know how we can help you somewhere, because I am very sure that some of you are going to return to me or to Lalit and us to ask how to go further if you really get motivated, or if you really have some tasks on hand. So I do agree that it is a lot of things to ask for, but it is not compulsory that you have to attend all of the points. The points are to guide you. You may find some information, or you may see, find that, okay, I need to get this information. So at least go through all of them, try to fill as much as you can, at least have the name of your lake so that we can also see what we can help you. How we have a good team of juniors who are sitting through here, who can also help you find things for you and also organize things for you. Any more questions? And photographs, yes, yes, I think Anushri has already suggested. Any more questions for that? So, okay, I take you quickly through, because today I have more cartoons, so I hope I can do justice with the time. We often have this impression government should do, if not, then private, and community has become the last. But over these 4 sessions, of course, we are learning that community is at the core of doing all these kind of activities. And if community comes into action, private sector also helps. We saw from Anand's case, and government is also helping. We saw from Probir's case and OSOP program, and even Joy was reinstating that fact. So there are multiple layers which is considered as participation, and it's a very well-known framework. Many of you know about the Einstein ladder of participation. At this moment, we are somewhere in, in the top side, non-participation and tokenism part of it. And when we brought you the examples of these water warriors, we were actually talking about the citizen empowerment and, citizens are taking control of it. So we have to move ourselves from that ladder to more towards the citizen control. And that is where lies collective action. That is also where lies democracy, which is part of discourse on, political ecology. So I'm going to take you through some theoretical ways. Where are these people engaging in what kind of activities? So it's not only one activity and one person or one thing happening at a time. There are several of the things where you can engage yourself. You can motivate people, as I'm trying to do. You can actually become political leader and take action, or if you have a political connection, you can take action. You can do PIL, you can ask for information why this lake is not getting developed, or why this lake is wrongly developed, and so on and so forth, why the fish died. So there are many mechanisms through which you engage in a water body. I'm showing example from one of my works itself, that how these mechanisms are interlinked, and you only enter through one point. The rest of the, it's like, have you seen the machine inside the clock or the watch? There's one thing which is putting, you press it and the entire system runs. So these are the subsystems which make the entire system runs. Now the direction is important. But importantly, you can engage in provision, financing. If you can't do physically yourself, find finances for those who are doing it. You can work in the production of the services out of it by, doing something on the ground, like, helping in fish breeding, helping in fruit planting and all those kind of things. You can help in policy making, in rule making. You can help in conflict resolution between the community. You can become a general community monitoring agent. Like Anand was mentioning, people call him and message him from there. You can become that agent also, and that is also an engagement. So as I'm mentioning again and again, everybody does not need to go and dig the lake, dig the pond. There are many ways in which you can engage, and I'm just showing few of them because the list is long, but just to show you that the moment you enter at one of these boxes, all these boxes starts moving. So I just mapped it for one lake and I went into a lot of detail, and next time I'm going to show you, it's also going to be a book chapter soon based on the experience. And next time I'm also going to show you one lake on which I worked, because I do get an impression people feel that I just talk about these theoretical works, but I'm going to take you through one lake where I was also involved among the many where I have done in the past. So if you take one of the box out, you start mapping it how the money is flowing. So each box has a story by itself. I'm showing you one of the box and opening it as a black box. So I did that mapping for one lake again. And I'm showing how the money is flowing from international to national, to state, to local, to mafia, to, to builder, to community, to vendor. So this is just for my knowledge as a theoretical work, being in the science. But each box, again, has subsystems where you can engage. You need to understand what lies in this box here. So just an example, as mechanisms, there are many places where you can work. Importantly, you are also have to look at the operational levels, so there are many levels at which the action is happening. One is the biophysical level, which we often relate with because it's a physical being. You can work there, of course. You can, of course, work in the decision-making level. We don't have anybody from higher authority and all here, but they are also working on it. So it's not that you all have to be working at one level. From the international level of Ramsar to ILEC to policy level to even the biophysical level. People are involved in various levels in doing those activities which I was showing in the previous section. Now, as a scientist or as a person who wants to understand, so what I'm showing you through coding, these are some, we call it coding also in mapping. What Anand was talking about, that he did it in 1 year by going here and there and learning what's going on. He did not map it probably in this manner, and I'm showing it you in mapped manner, because going in depth in one lake. So you go 100 lakes and learn something, you go in depth in one lake, both are equally important. So once you know the actors, once you know the actions, you can also map it out how they are working at different work levels. Because each box has something, unique. If one box moves, everything, the composition goes, different. And this is where we need to understand how levels of actors and levels of actions are actually changing things on the ground. Any short decision taken at one level changes everything on the ground. Anything change on the ground changes everything at the policy level. If you have a fish death 1 year, like in Mansagar example, we had 1 year fish death. It changed the entire approach to Mansagar. Tourism corporation took it over and they just decided to take care of it. So just giving an example how things can change either top down or it can also change bottom up. Then you need to understand who are these people who are having the commanding and position. Why do they act like certain in certain ways? It is very important that to have this trust in the society that every human being is unique and wants to do something good for the environment. What are these prerogatives which is changing the person's behavior towards something? It is about the person in that position, person having powers to do something or not to do something. So unless and until we understand our government very well, we are really not able to exercise and exploit the governing mechanisms which we have in hand. So every individual in an organization or every organization has a way to work. We need to understand how corporation works, how urban development authority works, how pollution control board works, and what is the role of that officer who is promising you something. You remember from Madhulika's time, she said that she had a collector who told her that I will support you in endeavors. You heard from Anand that he talked about the CSR. So you need to understand in what capacity people can help you and support you and you need to understand the organization's role. So you cannot go to pollution control board and ask them, why are you not cleaning the lake when you know the lake is unwell? Because it is not in the mandate of pollution control board to clean the lake. So we need to understand roles of the organization and roles of the officers also. Technical ways to clean the lakes are aplenty. This is from one of our projects in Indore. So you can really clean the lake every year or once to convince the local people or local community and all. And I am really not bothered about it, to be honest, because every local region has a local solution. You heard Anand really talking at length about the vegetation, and I would like to warn you to not take those vegetation as your vegetation, because your region has local vegetation. This is how even treatments have very local treatments available. But just to give you an example, that treatments are aplenty in hand. We don't need new techniques, new treatment facilities. We just need to actually have the motivation to do it. This is from the book. If we have all these things in ready, if we have the population, why are we not doing it? And this is again where I bring the book. It is very handy for you to understand why are we unable to take care of it. That will be useful for you. So I insist again to read. Importantly, here is that, the prisoner's dilemma, that we want everybody to change first, then and then only. We want the society to be good before I invest my energy into it. Or we think that what will it change if I change a lake for one day, next day it will be dirty again. So these kind of theories and this kind of societal behaviors have to be understood. Or you need to also understand that, okay, I clean the lake every year, but it is still not clean because the industry which is in the upstream is actually doing the business as usual. So my cleaning will not help. So this is called externality. So you need to understand these things, why we are unable to succeed in our collective efforts. First thing first, we are unable to succeed in our collective efforts because we are actually in a lot of collective efforts together. This urbanization is a collective work. We are partners in the crime together. We are partners in the development pattern. So we cannot complain about anybody. We are partners in the land grabbing. Everybody wants a lakefront house, as Anand was also mentioning. We are partners in inviting drought and flood. We are partners in climate change. So there's no they and we. We are all one and we have been partner in the crime. So we have to solve it. Important is that we need to get away from that arrogance that they have done something wrong, or the government's way of looking at it that society is making things wrong and making things difficult to manage and all. So this is where our collective action has already been there. An important aspect to understand here in collective action of doing something together, because all the work is happening collectively at a, we call it polycentricity. It is not necessary that all collective decisions are good decisions, particularly when the collective decisions are human-centric. And this is something which we have been talking in the course all through. So please understand that 4 people coming together does not necessarily mean that it is a good decision which is brought out. The very fact, the way we are modeling lake development all over the country by deepening itself is an example that we are trying to do something together, but the direction is not really the right direction. So we are in collective action, no doubt about it. But if we really want to work in collective action, Anand gave an example, Joy gave an example today, we have to have common goal. We have to have commitment towards the goal. We have to comply by the goal. We need to communicate. People are developing apps, beautiful to learn from them. You can also do that for your city or take that app to your city. We need to be a good coordinator between the actors. If you cannot really go and dig or clean the lake or plant trees, you can be a good coordinator, become a speaker for different people. And something which is missing in the society is the conflict resolution between the actors. If you can do that, I think we have much better ways to go. So the catch here is that institutions matter, but individuals make the institutions. So we matter, in short. So we have to see that we matter. So here's the content. Intent is primary. So there is a lot of work happening, but the intent is primary than intellect. We need more a good intent than more intelligence and techniques and tools. Interest should be second to intent. Intent directs implementation, because the direction, as I keep saying that development is happening. It's like the direction, it's the intent. Implementation seeks inspection. If you cannot do anything literally on the ground, you can just become a community vigilant. Inspection only by good intent and intellect. By just sitting that I can't do much about the lakes, it's not enough, you know. So we do have collective goals in the city and the country and the global level. So SDG 6 is that. But importantly, SDG 6 is connected to all the SDGs, and SDG 6 talks about access to clean water and sanitation. So if you want to talk about water, you have to talk about other things, and importantly, few things which I'm going to mention and stop here, that our consumptive styles have to stop. So I have made a ladder out of there are 17 sustainable development goals. And I think 6 goals are very important if you want to address and do something about water. And I have put it in the terms of ladder, that our thinking towards climate change has to change. Our thinking towards ecosystem, life on land and life in the water has to change. Our thinking towards the way we talk about cities, the way we talk about our lifestyle has to change. And importantly, this all will change if there is more gender equity in water discussions. So these are simple 6 steps which can actually help achieve our collective goals. And we can come back to our house and think why houses were run, why houses really work efficiently. And you will find that the top red square is very instrumental. And when you see most of the water decisions, water policy makers, water panels, water discussions, you will always find more men talking about it. I have been one of the fortunate women in the country, to be honest, who gets so many platforms to talk about water, but it's not like this everywhere. So I think I will stop here. I do have more slides on governance, but it's for the sake of good health. We should stop here today, and we can take it further as an extra class either tomorrow, or we go with the regular class session. Yeah. So is that fine, Lalit? Because I think otherwise it will go overboard. Yeah. So please go through the sustainable development goals, because it will help. And I will take things from here the next time and talk about the tricks. When you get a lake on hand, what do you do? So first thing first, for last 3 sessions, we were talking about move yourself from the house and take a lake on hand. But what you do on the lake is already told by all the speakers, but I will give you some tips, 5 or 6 tips what you do. But before I will complete the pending class of today, I have not completed today, so I will apologize for that. But I think we all had good session today, so that's okay to compensate. And thank you for the time being today. I'm open for any questions today related to what is coming next, or related to what the two speakers said, related to assignments or anything. So I'm sorry, I will not complete the class today. It's for the time reason, but I'm completely ready. But I think I should care for everybody's health. Lalit, what do you say?
So say for what? For example, we have a limited number of participants here. That is one approach. Another is if you want to continue and complete your talk, which is available online, that is another perspective. But maybe I think it has been a quite good dose, 2.5 hours in one go.
Yes.
We should take a break.
Yes, I think so. We can continue in the next class, no problem. Okay. Yeah. Any questions for me? Okay.
As of now, nothing. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, thanks all. Thank you. And I see you in the next class, and I will continue from where I leave today. So I will again repeat that I have not completed my session today. So please bear with that. Maybe one way, Lalit, you may stop the recording.